Hey everyone, welcome back to the Silly Science Symposium where we chat about the tech with a good laugh. I'm Hyder, your buddy in making sense of all the gadget stuff out there. Today we are poking fun at smartphones. You know, those little things that we cannot live without. We are asking a very big question. Have we run out of cool new stuff to add to the phones? Think about it. It wasn't too long ago that being able to poke your phone screen to do stuff was the coolest thing. Now our phones do so much, they are almost making coffee for us. Well, not yet, but who knows? Some smart people say today's phones are stronger than the big computers that send astronauts to the moon. I don't know how much true that is, but it is what it is. And what to do with all that power? Send funny faces and watch cat videos. That's what we all do. But really, what's next? A phone that's just a tiny bit thinner, or are we finally getting one that can whip up a latte? Grab your phone, yes, that thing that's probably already in your hand, and join me as we laugh our way through the world of phones. We look at how crazy far they have come and guess where they might go next. So let's get started on the Silly Science Symposium today, where we find the fun in tech. Let's take a little stroll down the memory lane and see how smartphones have evolved from their humble beginnings to the pocket-sized supercomputers that we have today. It all started with those brick phones. You remember the huge ones that were more suitable as doorstops than communication devices. Remember those? You needed a separate bag just to carry one around. Then came the first generation of smartphones, which felt like holding the future in our hands, except the future was bulky and had a battery life shorter than a goldfish's memory. Fast forward a bit and we got phones that could actually fit in our pockets without needing a belt strong enough to hold up Santa's pants. These phones started getting smart, real smart. They could send emails, browse the web at the speed of a snail, but still. And some even had this thing called apps. It was revolutionary. Now let's talk cameras. Back in the day, having a camera on your phone was the coolest thing. Didn't matter that the photos were so pixelated, you needed to use your imagination to figure out what you were looking at. Today, our phones have cameras that could make a professional photographer weep with joy. They've got more lenses than a Spice briefcase and take photos so clear that you can see your own reflection in a selfie of someone else. And durability, let's not forget the evolution from a slight breeze could kill it to this phone can take a bath and a drop from the second floor and it still works. Though ironically, no matter how indestructible they claim to be, we still find a way to crack the screen. It's almost a talent. Battery life has gone from please hold all the calls to save battery to I've been streaming videos for 10 hours straight and I've still got juice. But let's be honest, we are still asking, do you have a charger wherever we go? So here we are with smartphones that are thinner than a stack of credit cards, have more computing power than NASA used to have in entire rooms, and still the biggest debate is whether the next model will bring back the headphone jack or not. Progress, my friends, progress. In the world of smartphones, it seems we have hit a bit of a, snooze button. Gone are the days where each new model brought something so revolutionary we'd all be camped outside the store just to get a glimpse. Now it feels like we are celebrating when a phone comes out that's 0.01 millimeter thinner than the last one or has an extra hour of battery. It's like throwing a party because your cake has an extra sprinkle. Let's talk cameras for a second. Remember when having a camera on your phone was a big deal. Now if a phone doesn't have at least 3 cameras, it's practically vintage. The latest models are sporting so many lenses you start to wonder, are we taking photos or launching a satellite? It's gotten to the point where you need a degree in photography just to understand the specs. And let's not even start on the night mode that lets you take photos in the dark. Great, now we can see all that a raccoon is ramming through trash at midnight looks like in high definition. Then there's the screen. Every new model boasts about having a screen that's more edge to edge than the last. At this rate, we'll be holding onto a piece of glass with our thoughts. And then the resolution. They say you can't see pixels anymore. Well, I couldn't see them before, so guess I'll just take their word for it. Don't forget the storage space. It's growing faster than a teenager's appetite. Now you can store thousands of songs, photos, and videos. You'll never look at it again. Because let's be honest, scrolling through 3 years of memes to find one picture is a modern day quest. So here we are, standing on the precipice of the technological innovation, wondering not what the next big breakthrough will be, but rather how many more cameras they can squeeze onto the back of a phone before it just becomes a camera that can make calls. In this era of incremental improvements, maybe the most groundbreaking feature we can hope for is a phone that can find itself when you lose it in the couch cushions. Now that would be something worth lining up for. Why have smartphones hit a bit of standstill, you ask? Well, it's a bit like trying to add a new flavor to water. Sure, you can add a tint of lemon or a dash of mint, but in the end, it's still water. We are at a point where squeezing groundbreaking innovations into smartphones feels a lot like trying to fit into your high school jeans. Possible, but is it really worth the struggle? First of all, there is the issue of technical limitations. We have pushed the boundaries of what a small handheld device can do to the point where each new feature is less about necessity and more about novelty. It's like adding a seventh blade to your razor. Nice, but do we really need it? The laws of physics haven't changed, but apparently our need for an eighth camera lens has. Then there is the challenge of innovating in a market that's as mature as a fine cheese. Everyone's got a smartphone these days, from your tech-savvy grandma to the toddler who is somehow better than navigating apps than you, which is crazy, which is true as well. When everyone's already got with what you're selling, making it slightly better is not as excessive as it used to be. It's like trying to reinvent the wheel, but the wheel's already rolling just fine. And let's not forget about the battery life. The battery life, the Achilles heel of the smartphone world. Sure, phones now last all day, but does our anxiety about them dying on us? It's a constant race between finding a charger and trying to convince ourselves that 2% battery will definitely last until we get home. The battery might have improved, but our collective battery anxiety? Not so much. In the grand scheme of things, it seems like we are waiting for the next big leap. But for now, we are just hoping for one incremental update to the next. Like a game of tech hopscotch, where the squares are made up of slightly better screens and marginally faster processors. As we peer into the crystal ball of smartphone technology, it's clear that we are moving from the era of giant leaps to a time of very tiny tiptoes. Sure, we might not be on the brink of unveiling a phone that doubles as a jetpack, though honestly, how cool that would be. But the future still holds its fair share of nitty tweaks and twists. Then there is the talk of fully immersive augmented reality, the AR. We are not just talking about slapping cartoon hats on your friends with an app. We are talking about phones that can overlay digital information onto the real world seamlessly. It's like having a superhero goggles showing you the way to the nearest coffee shop or letting you play a video game on your coffee table. Who needs reality when your phone can spice it up for you? Battery technology might finally get an upgrade too. Imagine a phone battery that charges in minutes and lasts for days. It sounds like a dream, but researchers are working on it. And when they succeed, we'll say goodbye to the days of charging our phones overnight like a ritual. Instead, we'll be plugging them in while we tie our shoes and unplug them fully charged, ready to tackle the whole day. And for those who hate traffic, how about a phone that can teleport you to your destination? Okay, maybe that's a bit of far-fetched, but wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be ultimate feature? Stuck in a jam, just tap your phone and poof, you're at work. Hopefully not still in your pajamas. Until then, we might have to settle for smarter navigation apps that not only find the fastest route, but also predict jams before they happen based on social media rants about bad traffic. The future of smartphones may not be about earth-shattering innovations, but rather clever quality of life improvements. We might not get a phone that makes breakfast yet, but the advance on the horizon promise to make our lives a bit easier, a tad more interesting, and if nothing else, gives us new reasons to look at our screens and smile. After all, it's little things in life, or in this case, the small innovations that can make a big difference. As we wrap up today's journey through the smartphone landscape at the Simple Science Symposium, it's clear that while the days of jaw-dropping, groundbreaking innovations might have slowed down a bit to a more measured pace, the evolution of our beloved gadgets is far from over. It's not done yet. We have seen how the transition from monumental leaps to smaller, incremental enhancements does not mean the end of the excitement or advancements. Instead, it's a testament to the maturity and sophistication of the technology that we have come to rely on daily. From the evolution of design and functionality to the quirky potential of the future features, smartphones continue to shape our lives in subtle yet significant ways. So as we look forward to AR wonders and batteries that refuse to quit, let's not forget to cherish the marvels already at our fingertips. After all, the next big thing in smartphone might just be learning to appreciate the incremental devices we already have until, of course, someone finally cracks the code on that coffee-making phone. Now that would truly be a brew worth waiting for. And that's a wrap on today's Tech Talk at the Simple Science Symposium. But the conversation doesn't end here. We want to hear from you. Dive into the comments or hit us up on social media and share your thoughts on the future of smartphones. Got a quirky feature that you are dying to see? We are all ears, whether it's a phone that doubles as a toaster or something as wild as a hologram projector. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in for the next episode where we will continue to explore the curious corners of science and technology with a smile. Who knows what we will uncover next? Until then, keep dreaming up the future. We might just talk about your idea on the show. So I'll see you guys in the next one and make sure you subscribe to Vibe Vault. Cheers.
Vibe Vault Network.